Risi here. Let's get right into it, talking hockey. First of all, before we get into it, I just wanted to thank everybody who watched my first video. The first video was a lot more Habs-centric, as you could have seen. We are going to be diving a little bit deeper into all the other teams, the divisions, and that's pretty much it. So very important this year in the NHL is that the league is going to be divided into 4 mini leagues, I guess is the best way to describe it. So every division, which is what I just called a mini league, so every division is only going to be playing amongst themselves. The only time that one team is going to be facing an opponent from a different division is when we make it to what's called the Final Four. The Final Four is going to be playoffs. It's actually going to be the 3rd round of the playoff. So a little recap of how it's going to work this year is that every league, so example, the Scotia North Division, Ottawa, Calgary, Vancouver, Edmonton, Winnipeg, Montreal, and Toronto, those are the only opponents that those teams are going to be facing all year, up until the end of the year. We're not going to be playing Boston. We're not going to be playing Carolina, Colorado, or any other team from any other division, which is why this year, compared to every other year that the NHL has existed, winning in regulation time is going to be crucial. You don't want to be given any points to any other teams for tying the game and making it to overtime. None of that is going to be wanted by any team. So essentially, top 4 teams make the playoffs this year. Number 1 plays number 4. Number 2 plays number 3. Whoever wins out of those 2 matchups play each other, and then once they play each other, they're going to be crowned the champion of the division, or what I'm going to be calling it is they're going to be making it to the Final Four. So that's pretty much how it's going to work in terms of division play this year. I'm seeing that every team is going to be facing every division is only going to be facing themselves. You want to keep the most amount of points as possible. I'm going to give you guys a little bit of my preview for how I think every division is going to be looking like once the season is over. So as I alluded to in my first video, is going to be either Toronto or Montreal first. I don't want to put a winner just yet, just because they're so close. I mean, Toronto might finish first, Montreal might finish first. Montreal or Toronto might not even make it to the playoffs. But if I were going to put a decision today, let's keep it as is, that after 12 games played, Toronto is above Montreal. So we'll keep it Toronto first, Montreal second. I actually think Winnipeg is going to finish 3rd. And the last team in the playoffs is either going to be Edmonton or Calgary. I do want to say Edmonton just because they have the 2 stars, McDavid and Draisaitl. But Calgary has had a good team in the past. They actually have a better points percentage than Edmonton does so far. So who knows? I'm going to say Edmonton just because of the star power. Moving on to the East Division. I'm actually surprised that the Islanders and the Rangers are as low as they are. This is going to be a pretty tight division. The Devils, I mean, they're off to a hot start, all things considered. They have had a few injuries as well. Jack Hughes is out, so we'll see how they end up. I do think that the top 3 are going to be these 3 teams, Boston, Philly, and Washington. And I actually think the 4th team that's going to make it is going to be the Islanders, but I guess we'll have to wait and see for that one. The Islanders play a very structured game. They're a pretty well-oiled machine, and they're very well coached. So they, in my opinion, they are going to finish 4th. We'll see. Moving on to the Central. The Central is a bit of a funny one, I guess you could say. The final 2 that were playing in the Stanley Cup Finals was Tampa Bay, who we all know won the Stanley Cup last year, and Dallas. So I think it's the first time in NHL history that the 2 Stanley Cup finalists are playing in the same division, because they had to realign the divisions this year. So in a normal year, that will never happen. But we are where we are in the world, so it is what it is. Who's going to finish at the top and who's going to finish at the bottom? I think it goes without saying that Tampa Bay's most likely, or they are the favorite to win this division after 9 games. They are in first. They have played less games than half the division, and they are in first. They have the best points percentage in the division, so they, in my opinion, are going to finish first. Who's going to finish second and below? I actually think that Dallas, they've only played 9 games. You see, like, all the other teams around them have played many more games than they have. They have the best winning percentage out of all of them. They just haven't played the games yet. So I do think Dallas is going to creep up and finish in the top 4. Carolina is going to finish there as well. And I think the last team that's going to make it is going to be Florida. Hate them or love them, chokers or not, in my opinion, they're going to be the 4th team who's going to make it. Columbus this year, they got Line. I just don't think they have it. I think they're missing a certain something. And that same goes for Nashville. Chicago is actually surprising that they're off to such a hot start after losing Taves. They lost Doc. They've lost the defenseman as well. Forgot his name. Apologies, but Chicago is off to a hot start. I don't think it's sustainable. I think they do finish outside. And Detroit, well, Detroit's rebuilding, and they were never really in the talks to make it. Lastly, the West Division. The West Division, many have been saying that the top 3 is set in stone, which after the amount of games that have been played, the top 3 are pretty much set in stone. What's going to happen after that? Actually, no pun intended, Stone, captain of the Vegas Golden Knights. That was unintentional. But yeah, Vegas, Colorado, 1st and 2nd. St. Louis 3rd, and the 4th place team I think is going to be Minnesota, Anaheim, all the California teams. So Anaheim, San Jose, and Los Angeles, they're all in like a transition phase. It's a weird time for California hockey teams right now. Minnesota, they have a pretty structured team. They don't really give up that many goals against. They're actually 0 goal differential on the season. They're pretty structured. Obviously, they have a little bit more goals against than Colorado or Vegas, but they are really the 2 powerhouses of this division. So I do think Minnesota is going to surpass Anaheim and finish 4th, and Anaheim, Arizona, San Jose, and LA are all going to be on the outside looking in once the season comes to a close. Alright guys, well, thanks for making it this far into the video. If you've liked the video, please leave a like rating, subscribe, and leave a comment down low. A little bit of a side note, hopefully the comments are going to be working this video. For whatever reason, they didn't work on the first video. I'm a noob when it comes to YouTube, although I spend most of my time watching YouTube videos. I'm a brand new creator, so there's obviously going to be some things that are going to have to be learned. There's going to be a lot of updates in terms of the graphics, intros, outros, all that fun stuff. That's all on the way. But for the time being, don't be shy to leave any comments if they're working. If not, my email address is also going to be in the description. So if any constructive criticism, anything that you think might be changed or added, anything at all, don't be shy. I'm here to deliver the best viewer experience that I could. So that's pretty much it, guys. Well, thanks for making it this far, and on to the next one. Take care, guys.